subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Hi everyone, my name is Anita Sharma and I welcome you all at Inkpothub Media once again. This interaction takes me to I think 6 years ago when I started, exploring the world of research, and I happened to meet Professor Vijayta Doshi at IIM Indore campus in a very, very different experience. And today I'm going to interact with her and learn from her about her research journey and how she evolved as a very, very significant and magnificent researcher over these years. Professor Vijayta Doshi, I welcome you and very thankful to you that you accepted our invitation for this interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anita. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for that lovely and kind introduction. Inkpothub is doing really inspiring work, and I congratulate you and your team for this. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So you, after your FPM, you joined IIM Udaipur, and you are continuing at IIM Udaipur. So that is something very interesting because in today's time, when we have this job hopping nature and job hopping behavior, something is still keeping you rooted at IIM Udaipur. And in my recent interaction with Professor Janat Shah, I got to know that what was the reason and what is the reason when people join IIM Udaipur and they continue working over there, which is very, very interesting and inspiring. I will take you to your FPM days and then your entire journey. You are a biotech student you were a biotech student during your graduation, then you did MBA, and immediately after your MBA, you switched to research, which is a very interesting thing to observe. What made
Yeah.
you think about research exactly after your MBA? Can you just share
Yeah.
your experiences?
Sure, sure, Anita. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The journey has been a bit different, but at the same time, I would say, even or maybe I think what has kept me interested in research is because all these things are very new to me. Having read biotech and various subjects over there, now when I read management or even let's say sociology, feminist geography, I find them really interesting, and it's their newness which I try to explore. Possibly that's what has kept me interested in research. But how did I come here, is your question. So during my MBA, I remember I had this subject, as you would know, everywhere we have OB, right? Somewhere we call it OB1, micro OB. And I used to be really fascinated by that subject. Um, and it could be because, like my father, I remember when we were small, he would bring in some books. Often those would be on motivating yourself, self-help books, those kinds of material. But then I would read them with great interest, those books. And somewhere when I was reading OB during my MBA, I could see that those books in more elaborate and more like logical ways were coming up in the various theories that we were reading. And it was very clear to me from the very beginning that I'm going to do a PhD. But it wasn't very clear in which area. And I'm telling you, even before my biotech, because my mother has been a teacher herself, and somewhere I have had this inclination towards education. So it was always in my mind that I'm going to do a PhD. I wasn't sure in what subject. But then when in MBA, this OB came up, I knew what I have to do. Even before my MBA finished, I remember I had taken up, there used to be this NET JRF exam. And in my second year, I was already holding an NEFT JRF in my second year of MBA. And just after that, I think how the journey just started, it was IMA. Even then, it wasn't very clear what is research. I knew that, okay, once you do PhD, you're in higher education. But really, the experience I had at IMA was truly transformational in the sense the articles we would read, the way they have been conducted, what the articles are about, used to really fascinate me, especially of certain kinds. So yeah, that's what I thought I felt I really wanted to do. So PhD was already in the picture, research again in PhD at IIM FPM rather, now we call it PhD. So over there reading these stuff used to really fascinate me, and that has kept me interested in it. And like you said, at IIM Udaipur, the research culture is really great. The support, you need a lot of support, and I hear a lot of my batchmates from FPM times and otherwise as well, right, that they find it really hard to get time for research. But at IIM Udaipur, we are really blessed in that sense that we get enough and ample time for research. And it's not that we don't do teaching, we do high quality teaching. As well as research, and then we do have very less of administrative services that we have to provide. But I think it's the research ecosystem at IIM Udaipur. So you can imagine it has been like this, okay, PhD, research, and then even more interest in research. So along with my journey now, and thank you, I see this map.
Okay. Yeah. So PhD and more research and more research, and
more research.
You are into that research ecosystem, so there is no other. Right. But you start enjoying this journey of research. I think. Eventually, when everybody is, everybody is into, immersed into it. So we feel that okay, we are also into it, and we need to do justice with the work which we are doing. So absolutely, that comes with the environment and the culture which Professor Janat Shah has built. So I really appreciate him and congratulate him, because your statements are validating what he has tried to create. Great. Let me take you through your FPM journey once again. Tell me 2-3 instances wherein you felt that, okay, I made a wrong choice, and no, this is something which is I was not told or heard before. Any instance which you can share with us? Absolutely, yeah. Because it comes every time when we fail, or every time when we struggle, it comes every time.
For me, Anita, interestingly, it was only during my first year that I felt that way. And that was also mainly because I was reading, and right, that time in FPM, we used to do first year common with MBA students. So that time I used to wonder, like when I'm doing this PhD or rather FPM in OB, why am I reading these plethora of courses? Was the question. And that was my struggle as well, that this is not what I was here for. But now I tell you really, and often we hear this from others, right, that in retrospect, you'll really value this. But then it really happened with me. That in the later years, I realized how much valuable that was. For many things, I'll tell you. There used to be this idea that you have to assist a faculty member. Then you see the bit of it from the other side of the table, that, okay, when the faculty is teaching, you observe other students, what's going right, what is it that students are finding engaging. So later on, I felt that was so much important for teaching. But at the same time, research, even today, like when we read any article, right, it may be very specific, a very like on a specific topic. But even then, if you are able to make these connections that, okay, from OB perspective, this is how it is. From marketing perspective, this may be this, right? Or from operations, had we not taken those courses, we would not know what is it that marketing offers, what's there in operation. So it just broadens your perspective, which you don't realize that moment. That moment, it's more like a torture. but in retrospect, you realize its value in many ways. And these are just 2 ways in which I'm telling you. And I'm sure there are many more ways which I reflected and thought about. And I found it really valuable. But like I told you, it was only in my first year. And from second year, because second year used to be your course specific course, I mean, your domain specific courses that we were supposed to take. And third year onwards is more of your thesis. And from second year onwards, I completely, thoroughly, I can't even express how much I enjoyed from second year onwards. And I remember there used to be some batchmates who would still like think that, are we in a wrong place? Is it what we had subscribed for, even in the later years? But I don't know, fortunately, unfortunately, it was only the first year where I thought it was this a right decision. But after that, it has been an amazing journey. And I think credit goes to I mean, many things, including my committee members, right? It also depends a lot on who are your advisory committee members. I was lucky to have amazing, very supportive committee members. And I think that's what gets reflected in your research journey as well. They had given me complete freedom to explore my research interest, my domain, whichever direction I want to go, and they'll be supportive and guiding me. So I think, yeah, that's what.
So, Vijayta, this is something which I also experienced while doing my FPM. Like the first year, I had this question as well. And now I also reflect back and see that one thing which also we must appreciate that we got a chance to interact and study with the PGP students to understand the mindsets of the PGP students. And then eventually, as an outcome, they become good friends. We have a good connect in consultancy or in corporate now, just because we had interacted with them, and 6 years have passed, and now we have a lot of people who are in the corporate world who are in the top positions. So to get the data, to get all those stuff, I think we can reach out to them and ask them, okay, can you help us? Or that can be one of the advantages. And thirdly, is that we as because ultimately we are going to teach these PGP students after a certain point in time. So we also get to know about what best our professors were doing. Can we replicate or do similar kind of stuff, or adopt a different methodology in the classroom to teach our students? So these are some outcomes which I also realized later when I was teaching to the PGP students at IIM Amritsar. It was so I think everyone has this question like, why first year? And so many questions. If I am in strategy, why I'm studying operations or so and so. So, but then eventually we realized that this is something which was needed, and it was a thoughtful process. Whoever designed the program is really given a thought on designing the program. Okay, moving to the next question, Vijayta. I have a lot of questions for you, and because this is going to be helping many people. So another question.
No, I'm enjoying it. Thank you. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so one thing which I want to know, that straight from the FPM program, you entered in the academic world, you started teaching and continued with your research. Did you find any challenge in this transition? And because you never had a corporate experience before, like before starting your FPM journey, and then post that you never experienced that as well. So from FPM straightway to academia, what kind of challenges you experienced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So you're right. That way, I think it was only for 6 months that I had worked as an assistant manager in business development domain for a pharmaceutical company in Chandigarh. But other than that, I don't have any corporate experience. At the same, I think more than that, one challenge that was there with me was age, in the sense, initially, right after my FPM, by the time I finished it, I was in my late 20s, not even 30. Age is another surface level diversity parameter that might come across, that might pose challenges to some people.
So yes, I think a lot of young faculty members experience the same instances, same experiences they have. I do not know if there is any research which talks about, is there any difference between the experiences of male faculty and female faculty when they enter in academia very early on. So I do not know about the research, but I'm sure there must be some differences. I think there's a huge research question right in front of us, that if we do such kind of research, definitely some different outcomes we may expect.
But yeah, I think for that, I have to really give credit to my family as well, because I'll share with you, when I joined IIM Udaipur, and just let me take this bit before that, when I was defending my thesis, and I remember it was September 18, 2014, I was due, and my son came in on 4th of October. So around, you can imagine, around 15, 20 days after I defended, and I was carrying, I delivered my son. And so 2014, I had defended, but then, of course, the degree gets granted in March. That was 2015. And when I joined IIM Udaipur in March 2015, my son was 5 months old. So it wasn't that easy. But then, like I'm telling you, I have to and give credit to my family. in that situation, right? When you're new in a job and you have a small kid, how do you manage family as well as institute? I would say, right, the flexibility that they give you or they don't, that makes all the difference. And that way, I think, yeah, the support I got really didn't make me feel that I was really doing anything different. So what I was trying to say was, I still didn't have gender challenges, or maybe because I had these support systems around me. And not to boast about myself, but from the first batch itself, really, I've been lucky to have received a lot of love from my students.
Okay.
And even today, like some of them would write back, sharing their situation in corporate, what's going on, sometimes asking what should I do, kind of things. But then I think over the years, this bonding has just grown stronger. So I never felt that, okay, I'm smaller than them, younger than them, or any which way, anyway came into our teacher-student relationship and that nurturing part of it. No.
Glad to hear that. Really glad to hear that. So, okay, so I am moving to the next question, because
Sure.
these student-teacher relationships will keep on. We can speak at length, but due to the paucity of time, we need to take the next question, which is around rejections of research papers, which is very tricky. And I generally ask this question to all the researchers, because they have it takes a lot of time and resilience to reach up to this level, and this particular research profile, or this particular way is not built in one day. So a lot of rejections we experience, and everyone has a different way of coping with rejections. What is your way of coping these rejections of research papers?
No, I'm really glad, Anita, you brought that point, because rejection really is part and parcel of your life if you're a good researcher. So yeah, there's a lot of resilience you need, like you said, and it doesn't come easy, right? And I was talking to you about this program, right? The one I just spoke to you on entrepreneurship, and even seasoned faculty, like who are now mentors, even they talk about it till today, right? So one thing, yeah, one has to really accept is that it is going to come, right? And when it comes, it's not easy to take, right? No matter how many of them you would have got in your lifetime, but then it's not easy. And that's only possible, let's say, when you're having teaching. When you don't have teaching, your mind is always there, right? When you're teaching, you still have other things to think about, right? So this strategy, that's why I'm saying it's not that one strategy, it depends on the situation, team members, everything. So that's one thing, that forget about it. And once you relook at that and relook at the comments, they really start making sense to you, right? The other, and that's where you start making changes. There is no other way. You have to work on some of the things. I'm not saying everything that the reviewers may have said or the editors may have said, but certainly some things one has to be open to. And what I think is, only when we get these multiple rejections, the quality of our work starts improving, right? Because you don't want this rejection in the first go itself. That's when we start putting in that extra effort on everything, right? The basic things that editors say, do this. This is the common thing. And we don't do that, right? We forget, or maybe we are in the flow of writing the paper. We don't do that. But when you receive these rejections, they just make you extra cautious that, see, this is what you don't have to do. And that's what brings in that the better quality in your work. This is like what I think. So like I said, not easy to take it emotionally, but then being in this, and that's what I think.
So I think this is a good concoction. You just mentioned that until rejections, your papers will not be able to deliver the value, as well as we learn in the process. We create better quality output and impactful research if we get rejections. Otherwise, we are so full of confidence. So that confidence should be shattered so that we can create more valuable, impactful research. True.
Right. Just on that, Anita, I think you've made a very interesting point. What I also think is that these rejections make you a more humble person. Not just in terms of research, otherwise also. I think so. It just keeps us grounded. And yeah, it has value in that way as well.
Yes. So it keeps us human.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So you recently won this AOM award. Share more about your paper which you presented and the award which you received. And first of all, congratulations on that award.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Anita. Yeah. So this is a paper I'm working on women entrepreneurs. And when I had submitted this paper, like you don't think, right? You don't think that I want the best paper award and that's why I'm submitting. You don't imagine that way. It's, I think, just the kindness of the committee who saw value in that. And you do put your heart and soul there, right? If you want to communicate something that really comes from your heart, and that's how I had crafted that. I'd done that study, and I think it's more than anything, it's just that when you've put something out and somebody has valued that, and that's when you get that recognition. But it's really heartening and it's encouraging, right? It's really encouraging that way to receive these recognitions. It just tells you that, okay, you're on the right way. There are a few set of people who are valuing what you're saying. So it's really encouraging that way. So all I would say is, I think, and often this is a question that gets asked, that, okay, how do I choose my topic? What is the trending topic these days on which I can research? Which I think, and this is something I don't just think, but this is something I've been practicing. Any topic that you pick up, right? If you are interested in that, right? If there's something you want to convey about that, it will become automatically interesting for the audience. If you are interested, they'll be interested as well, right? So every topic is a trending topic, remains my answer to this one, really. So yeah, that's about that award, Anita. Yeah, I think I'm grateful to AOM, to the CMS division, and CMS2 is doing some really amazing work as a community. So I'm really happy that they recognized that paper. And now again, as you know, right, the publication part of it is still underway. The journey doesn't end there for us, you know that very well. So yeah.
Good. So what is your last passing remark to the upcoming potential prospective research scholars?
Yeah, I think what I would say is, as long as you are loving what you're doing, right? As long as a researcher, you have a voice in what you're doing, your work is going to get recognition in one or the other platform, surely. But like we discussed just now, there may be ups and downs in the journey and rejections for sure if we are talking about publishing our papers. But then one has to be resilient. One has to, and why we say one has to be resilient, because in our journeys, we have seen that you do see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? It's not just to say, just be resilient, no problem. If you be that way, you do see an outcome and a result later on, right? And it's not easy to be that patient. But like I'm reaffirming that once you have that dedication, patience, you definitely always see the result. Yeah.
True. Thank you. I think we have a lot to share, and we have a lot to discuss. This is never ending, but I think I'll keep on coming to you, Vijayta. It's really a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, Anita. Pleasure is
like
mine.
I am reliving my own old days and thinking about those. It's like making me nostalgic. So really happy to interact with you. Thank you so much, and we'll keep on interacting with you and seek your guidance, your suggestions, support in different initiatives and endeavors which Inkpothub is going to take in the coming times. Thank you.
Sure, Anita. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to Inkpothub Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.